Good morning, Mr. Green. Are you chewing gum? Please spit it out. Hey, guys, is there a trash can over there? So he's not smacking. Mr. Green, you were charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. You were facing up to a year in jail and/or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On January 4th, 2025, the officer observed the defendant's vehicle traveling on the 8600 block of Colon Boulevard, and the officer began to approach the defendant's vehicle and observed a strong odor of marijuana emitting from that specific vehicle. The officer observed the defendant to make a westbound maneuver onto Belfort Street, and the defendant failed to use a right signal to make a turn onto another street. The traffic stop was then initiated. The officer made contact with the defendant and observed the strong odor of marijuana from the vehicle, and the officer asked the defendant to step out of the vehicle, and the defendant was then detained. The officer asked the defendant if he had recently hotboxed the vehicle, and the defendant stated he had earlier in the day. The defendant stated he had marijuana in a backpack lying on the passenger seat, and the defendant stated he had a rifle and pistol magazine. The officer observed a semi-automatic AR pistol lying on the passenger seat adjacent to the backpack with marijuana inside. The backpack had a bunch of Ziploc baggies containing marijuana, and the weight of the marijuana was 13.05 grams.
Do you have a valid Texas driver license, please?
I'll run it, Your Honor.
Mr. Green, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to be in possession of weapons. Do you understand?
It's elsewhere, Your Honor.
Unless you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance, you're not allowed to drive. Do you understand?
Sir.
Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer, sir? How old are you?
23.
Okay. I'll have you fill out an application to see whether you qualify, and then if you do, then we'll provide your lawyer today. Do not pick up any new cases. Don't violate the law. If I find that you do, I'm going to put you in jail. You understand me? All right, come on. Here's the deal. So your lawyer came in here twice. You weren't here. It's okay. I'm not going to ding you on it. My main concern is I don't want you out in the middle of the night just doing things that you're not supposed to be doing. And when we spoke to your lawyer, from what it appeared is, are you on a bus at that time?
I got my new apartment. I got all my paper right here, and we relocated all the way in A-Leaf right now. So the bus, it takes a long time to come. It don't come at the time that it say it'll come. So, you know what I'm saying? Wherever I'm at, I'll be like, dang, you know, I'll make it on.
Speak normally. Don't
Yes, sir.
have to really. Just speak normally, intelligently.
Yes, sir. I'm just trying to show you, like, you know, that I'm out here really trying. You know what I'm saying? I got my information.
No, you know what I'm saying? No,
I'm sorry.
just,
I'm sorry. Good luck.
hey, speak eloquently.
Yes.
It shows, you know? Okay. So what are you doing now? You working?
I'm not technically working. I'm volunteering. You know, I'm handing out flyers, and I get like $100 after that. You know, it's like kind of like a volunteering thing. You know?
Why not get a full-time job?
I know I've been applying. I still got some coming in. So that's gonna
Be
take me.
helping. So I'm gonna hold on. No, don't worry. Look, I've got resources here to help you out. Do you have a cell phone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm gonna give you a list of places how you can get a job.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Get a job, get a skill, get a trade. That way you can develop something so you can move up in life and make a lot of money. That's what it's about. You get a trade, learn something so you move up in the world. Not menial jobs handing out this because you go nowhere with this. Really. We're going to give you a sheet of paper. This is going to be a list of places that you can go to that can recruit you for work purposes. Okay. I just don't want you out in the middle of the night. Nothing good happens at 2 a.m, 1 a.m. We got to work down a way that where you're working, you still be home at a decent hour. So you're volunteering at this place? And where do you go and how long does it take for you to get home?
It's like at a church.
Okay. And how long does it take to get home?
Even
Are you with Mr. Waters?
even from like Wheeler Station, train center, where the 25 bus go to, that's an hour and 9 minutes away to come. So just imagine me taking a bus from wherever.
What time do you stop working?
What time do I start working? Whenever
Stop. What time do you stop working?
like whenever we get all the flight, like it's like the maximum of 4 of us that's passing out in the neighborhood, in nice neighborhoods, and like when all the flyers are gone, cause we got like 4 pages, so when all the flyers are gone, then that's when
Usually what time do you finish?
usually like around, let me say 2, 3,
2, 3 what? In the afternoon?
4, like 4 in the afternoon.
Okay, so then you take the bus to go home.
I tell everybody to go home, then I try to go do some, some like look around and go apply for jobs and stuff like that.
What is the curfew that we have on him now?
10 p.m. to
And this time here, he didn't get home till like 11:30, 11:45, right?
10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Judge.
Okay. I just don't want you out in the middle of the night. If you need more time, ask Jillian, we can give you more time, but you have to be cognizant, meaning that you have to understand that, actions have consequences. And if you're out there past curfew, it's not going to go well. If you need a little bit more time for work, I can give you a little bit more time, but if you're out at midnight, 1, 2, it's not going to go well, Mr. Waters. Do you understand? Okay. So
Give me some resources for employment opportunities and an upcoming job fair on the 14th.
this is a fair that you can go to get a job. When you go there, take a shower in the morning, brush your teeth, smell good, put on nice clothes. Perception is reality. If you look bad, no one's going to give you a job. But if you go there looking professional and you speak well, then you're better chances of getting a job. You need a trade, like maybe welding, something of this nature where you can move up in this world and make $15 to $20 an hour. That's what you should be looking for. We've given you the tools. It's a matter of whether you want to go do it. Okay? All right. So let's set it. What was the date that we were going to do?
I was just looking at that and I didn't see all that. So I just felonies on 2 for work.
Okay, we'll set it for the same day as the felony. Okay? This is your opportunity to get a job. Use it. All right, we'll have you sign a reset, put you on the same day for the felony so they don't have to keep coming and going. All right? All right, come on, Mr. Waters. Thank you, Mr. Waters. Yeah, I guess go to 10:30. Yeah.
The people from the demanding jurisdiction. It's one of those, because it's a 2B warrant, it hasn't been assigned to a prosecutor yet. And so we were trying to get a hold of the actual investigator for this charge. And Amy and I got shuffled around a little bit, so we could only speak with the extradition investigator, but we couldn't speak with the original investigator. So my facts are very, very limited. We don't.
I'm happy to give you some background, Judge. Mr. Reeder, military veteran, was a medic in the Pacific, in Korea, meritorious awards, done well. When he finished with the military, the Army, lived in Georgia, then was hired over here by a very reputable hospital and medical center. He's the lead administrator. He was referred to me by the chief neurologist of this hospital. What ends up happening, he is in a custody dispute, and I believe Judge Kirby's, is that the judge, over in family court?
Here or over there?
Here. As this custody dispute sort of soured for his future ex-wife, he shows up at his hospital to go to work and is sworn and arrested on a warrant that he had no idea about. Apparently, this is some allegation that occurred in Georgia in June of 23. No report was made at the time. I think the state will confirm that. It wasn't until the custody issue here started to go south for his future ex. She then makes an online report in DeKalb County, Georgia, to accept charges without ever even talking to him, getting his side of the story. There's actual video evidence told of what happened that's been litigated in family court. They're not responding to the state. All we want is a low bond so he can go deal with this there. He's not a flight risk. He's not family here. He's obviously got a good job. His boss is the one who brought me in on this. And so, you know, I don't want to ask for a dollar bond, but I ask as low as the court wants to go because it is a cash bond. And he's going to have to go hire a lawyer to deal with this.
So you're not going to go represent him over there?
I'm not, well, I'm going to get it. I know, I stay in my lane.
Got it.
You know, we're going to find somebody in DeKalb County that will make this go away.
So, Mr. Reader, you are wanted out of the state of Georgia for aggravated assault and cruelty to a child. What we have here is, I don't know you. I've never met you before, but my main concern are two. Are you a danger to my community? And number two, most importantly, are you going to go back to Georgia? I have to make the bond sufficiently high if I give you a bond so that you're going to go back, because you are, as everyone, it's an inherent flight risk because you're a fugitive from another state.
Judge, if I could, one other thing, the aggravated assault, my understanding from Georgia is the impeding breath statute here. And the child part of it is, the allegation is the 12-year-old child witnessed this. So it's not, there's no weapon involved or anything like that. It's a simple domestic violence situation.
Any prior criminal history?
No, he has no other history, Judge. And so I'm not able to confirm, but that seems logical in terms of when the warrant was dropped, but is correct. The charges, the Texas equivalent would be impeding breath, and I guess, I don't even know if we have.
You don't know this with certainty that
Oh, no,
that's
for the
what,
charges it is, but for the date, I don't have any other information. Like I said,
I don't know the actual, what the facts, what.
yes, the strength.
Impeding breath, or whether it's a
Impeding breath
shooting a
and-
gun.
And then cruelty to, it's strangulation, and the cruelty to child is the fact that the 12-year-old witnessed him allegedly strangling his wife. So, but regarding that, because of the nature of the charge, it says state requests a $10,000 bond. And so
You're okay with the
with
bond?
a
being
bond
set?
being set, because he has no prior other criminal history, he hasn't exhibited any other information I could find that he's a flight risk, so.
So state wants a $10,000 bond. What's your counter?
My counter would be 1,000, Judge. He's not going anywhere. He's got a good job here. He's got support here. I'm here. They're not bringing me here to run away from anything. We're gonna go fight this case and clear his name. Everything is here.
You got to understand that, you know, if I set you a bond, we expect you to follow through, and there are very serious consequences. You're old enough to know that actions have serious consequences. And if you fail to act, I'm going to set you a bond, and we give you 14 days from the date of your release to go turn yourself into Georgia. If you fail to do that, I'm telling you now, I'm not going to play this game with you again. If you fail to go, I will issue a nationwide warrant for your arrest, and I'm going to set your bond at 0. You won't get another one. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't know. So he wants 10, you want 1,000. I'll set it at 5, you know?
Would you consider 2,500? Because my understanding, it's a cash bond. So we have to pay, we can't get a bondsman in here, pay the 10%. And he's gonna need money.
I'll defer to the court. Sorry, I was working on the waiver withdrawal form because he waived in magistrate court, so I'm just working on the waiver withdrawal right now. But I defer to the court. Because he doesn't have any other history, and because I'm limited information, it's hard for me to make any further assertions because no
To
one's
the
getting back
state's
to me.
credit, they've gone out of their way to reach out to Georgia, and they, you know, and they're not responding. It's not
He's great.
lack of diligence on their part, but apparently DeKalb County doesn't find this as much of a priority to respond to it. And they've had 2 days while he's been sitting in jail.
Okay. I'll acquiesce to the 2,500.
Thank you.
Moment, I have one form. Just sign it.
No problem.
Be like 5 minutes.
The only other thing that I'm going to counsel you is that you got to be careful, man. You know, what you do impacts everyone around you, you know, especially a child. You know, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned and a teenager out of control, because the teenagers that's out of control can make your life a living hell. And when they see that kind of, it impacts everyone. And I'm telling you, it reverberates, and it can just, like an infection, just grow out of control. 90% of the people in there now, no self control. They get upset, they wig out, and they just go without thinking, hey, if I do this, what's going to happen? If I say this, what's going to happen? Just patience really goes a long way, you know? All right, I'll set the bond at 2,500. Just be careful, man. All right? Okay, Mr. Doyle.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you,
Now,
Judge.
excuse.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Mr. Barragan. You were charged with racing on a highway. You were facing up to a year in jail. I'm sorry, up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
Yes, Judge. On January 5th, 2025, the officer was part of a street racing and takeover task force and was advised of a group that met at a gas station parking lot in the city limits of Harris County, Texas. The officer was working in a plainclothes capacity and was following the group from one location to another and viewed two vehicles race side by side at Highway 290 and Kickapoo Road, traveling westbound. The officer observed the defendant's vehicle and another vehicle slow down to approximately 50 miles per hour before launching at the same time in a competitive manner, accelerating well over 100 miles per hour in an attempt to outpace one another. The officer maintained visual and was able to detain the defendant, the driver of the silver Nissan observed, but was unable to locate the other vehicle.
How fast are we talking over 100?
Let me see if he specified, if it was just that. The officer only said well over 100. He didn't specify.
Barragan, I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to participate in this kind of activity again. If I find that you're racing, if I find that you participate in any kind of street takeovers, anything of this nature, reckless driving, donuts, whatever, I will take your ability to drive away from you. Do you understand? Not only that, it is a condition of your bond, and if I find that you do, I can revoke your bond and put you in jail. Can you file those conditions, please?
Yes, Judge.
You're going to reset your case to give you time to fight this thing. I'm going to have you sign a reset of victory. I'm going to have you take a seat in the jury box. We'll get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it. And then after that, you'll be free to go. You have a lawyer. Because you do, I will waive your appearance, but it is your responsibility to stay in touch with her. If she tells you she can't get a hold of you because you're playing games, you pick up a new case, you've become a danger to my community, I will put you in jail. You understand? Okay, come on. Thank you. Oh, it's Jack. Mr. Jack? Sir, you were charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On January 4th, 2024, at 9:02 p.m., the officer arrived on scene to a traffic stop. And upon arrival, the officer met with another officer who stated he had called him for backup after initiating the traffic stop for the vehicle reaching speeds of up to 108 miles per hour. The officer observed a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, slurred speech, watery eyes, and unsteadiness on his feet. The defendant was then detained, and the defendant admitted to having a few drinks at a party. The defendant refused further questioning, and standard field sobriety tests were conducted. HGN 4 out of 6, walk and turn 7 out of 8, one leg stand 3 out of 4. The DIC was read, and the defendant refused to provide a sample. A blood warrant was signed and executed.
You say what had the odor of alcohol, slurred speech, bloodshot eyes? I didn't hear you say any of that.
Yes, he had odor of alcoholic beverage, slurred speech, watery eyes, and unsteadiness.
Mr. Jack, I want to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're using, it's not going to go well for you. If I find that you're driving like this, in this manner again, I will take your privilege to drive away from you. Do you understand?
Yes.
Do you see that he has a valid license?
I'm running it, Your Honor. It's eligible, Your Honor.
All right. You have a lawyer. Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance, but it is your responsibility to stay in touch with them. If they come back to me, tell me they can't get a hold of you because you're playing games, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. You understand? Don't pick up any new cases. Don't use, stay in contact, and all will be fine. All right? I'll have you sign a receipt of Victoria. We'll have you get with Felicia for your bond conditions, and then you're free to go. Thanks, guys.
All right, Judge Still.
Good morning, Mr. Johnson. How are you? Come on up. So this is it Lauderdale?
Safety.
Right. Good morning, Mr. Lee. Sir, you were charged with racing on a highway. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
On January 5th, 2025, the officer was conducting surveillance as part of a traffic crimes task force of motor vehicles racing westbound on Grand Parkway, and the officer observed the defendant's vehicle traveling in lane 2 and another vehicle in lane 1. The motor vehicle slowed down to approximately 30 miles per hour before launching at the same time in a competitive manner, accelerating to well over 110 to 125 miles per hour in an attempt to outpace each other. The motor vehicles raced 3 times, then pulled into a Buc-ee's. The officer observed the defendant, but was unable to locate the other motor vehicle involved in the race.
So then it says that also he picked up a felony evading. He was on bond for a felony evading and now he's picked up this case, a racing?
It looks like that's the case, Your Honor. He was on bond for the evading.
I'm taking away your privilege to drive. You were not allowed to drive, Mr. Lee. Do you understand? You will be signing an affidavit with me today promising me you're not going to drive. I don't give a rat's behind what is going on in your life. If I find that you drive, I can have a contempt hearing. You can be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. This is an affidavit that you're going to promise me that you're not going to drive. Do you understand? There's a burning building with 50 kids in it. I don't care. Do not drive. You mind filing those conditions as well, please? No driving.
No driving. Yes, Judge.
You have a lawyer. Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance. It is your responsibility to stay in touch with Mr. Johnson. He will tell you when you have to come back to court. If he tells me he can't get a hold of you because you're playing games, you pick up another case, I'm going to revoke it. And if I find that you're a danger to the public, I'm going to make it sky high. I will do everything in my power to protect my public at all costs. Do you understand? You want the same day as the felony?
Sunday shall be fine.
Okay. All right, guys. I'm going to have you sign a reset. We'll have you take a seat in the jury box. We'll get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it. And then after that, you'll be free to go. All right. Thanks, guys.
The felony's all the way in June 2nd.
2026, Your Honor. That's
Is it set for trial or something?
No, he was on that's a placeholder setting because it was a PTI.
What's going to happen with that? Is he still in the PTI?
It was, from my understanding, I don't know. I think it was some conditions he had to do and he's almost done with it. So I think this is close.
So is that, do you know whether they're going to keep him in? Do they know about this?
I'm sure they know, but
Does the felony court,
you're
you're not the lawyer.
no, but
Okay.
they
So let's just do this. Let's just do it right. We'll do a 30-day reset. And then I don't know what's going to happen upstairs. We'll see. You just keep us in the loop. Okay. All right. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Good morning, Ms. Pace. Ma'am, you were charged with driving on a suspended license. You were facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
Yes, Judge. On January 2nd, 2025, the officer observed the defendant's vehicle at the 900 block of Burke Road. He ran the license plate and it had a return of an expired registration as of November 2024. A traffic stop was conducted. The defendant was not able to provide a Texas driver's license, so instead the defendant provided a name and date of birth. The defendant stated she did not have financial responsibility on the vehicle, and the defendant was shown to have a suspended driver's license not eligible with multiple Class C warrants.
Okay. Ma'am, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case.
Can I say something?
Please don't. You have the right to remain silent. Exercise that right. Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
Yes, I do.
You don't want a court-appointed lawyer? Okay, so we'll give you time to go hire a lawyer. I am making it a condition of your bond that you're not to drive unless you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance. And I'm going to have you sign a promise with me today. Doesn't matter what's going on in your life. If you want to drive, go get a license, get liability insurance. If you can show me that, I'll take this restriction off happily. Okay? Bless you. Did you sneeze? No. Okay, man. So I'll have you sign this reset. I'll have you get with Victoria for a reset and then we'll get you out of here, man. Okay? Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Reyes. Sir, you were charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On January 2nd, 2025, the officer was riding with HPD Traffic Crimes Task Force and a group of vehicles was meeting at 430 West Parker Road in Harris County, Texas. The officer observed the defendant, who is 18, brandish a firearm while walking around his vehicle, and the defendant exited from the motor vehicle on the driver's side, walked around the motor vehicle while brandishing the handgun, and then sat in the front passenger side seat. A traffic stop was initiated and the officer made contact with the defendant, the passenger of the vehicle, and the defendant admitted to carrying around a handgun, which was found under the passenger seat in the motor vehicle where the defendant was sitting.
Mr. Reyes, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. What are you doing with yourself these days? Are you in school? You graduated from high school? Okay. I'm warning you as a condition of your bond not to be in possession of weapons. You are not allowed to have a weapon. Do you understand? If I find that you have a weapon, you pick up a new case, I'm going to revoke your bond. I will put you in jail. You understand? Tell me, you want a lawyer? You don't want a court-appointed one? You do one? Okay. I just fill out an application. Let me see if I have an application on file. I need you to fill out an application for me. Let me take a look at it, and then I'll appoint you one here in a bit. All right? Come on. Do you mind, Ms. Brown, giving him an application? Are you Mr. Scott?
So,
Mr. Scott, you're charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On January 4th, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, the officer was dispatched to an assault. The officer met with the complainant who stated that the defendant and her had been in a sexual relationship, and she confronted the defendant about sleeping with another woman. The defendant became angry and followed her to a gas station where he pushed to the ground with both hands, causing pain.
Okay, Mr. Scott, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Do we know, have you spoken to her to find out what she wants? Does she want to have contact with him? Does she not want to have contact with him?
Your Honor, we have not reached out at this time.
Okay.
well, Judge,
Hold on a second. Just don't say anything at this point. I've got a bunch of DAs here. Whatever you say, they can use against you. I can give you a lawyer today if you want one. You know, you can give your side to the lawyer. The lawyers can talk to the DAs, but I don't want you to say anything to make the case any worse. All right. Because I don't know what she wants, I'm ordering you not to have any contact with her, not to be in possession of any weapons. I'm also entering what's called a magistrate order of emergency protection that identifies Ms. Walton as a protected individual. You cannot commit family violence or an assault against this person, commit an act in furtherance of an offense under section 42.072 of the Texas Penal Code, which is the stalking statute. You cannot threaten, harass, use another person to communicate any threat or harassing behavior. You cannot be in possession of a weapon or go within 200 feet of where she lives or where she works. Do you understand?
Judge, you know the property that she lives, I paid for and proved out on, the stating around the death and homeless, right?
Let's do this. Let me give you a lawyer today. I can have them reach out to find out where she lives, what the address is. I just don't want you to have contact with her. I don't want you to go where she lives or where she works. That's it. Okay? I don't know. Let's do this. Let me give you a lawyer and we'll go from there. Okay? Do not leave until you sign our bond conditions, though. Sorry?
Thanks for respecting our case of your representative included in court 1990. Yeah.
Okay. So hang tight with me. We'll help you out. Don't worry. Okay? Please. When you're cool, the sun shines on you indoors,
Well,
you know?
it's because brilliance from the bench is blinding me. So,
How are you?
it may be that coat.
That's what it is.
I'm good, Judge.
Mr. Coyne.
Angel Gutierrez, it's a DWI. I understand that you might want to talk about bond conditions.
Is this a new case?
Yes, it is.
Except for arraignment, he was in felony court.
All right, Mr. Gutierrez, come up.
Page 5.
I take it you are also representing him upstairs.
I am, Your Honor.
Wonderful.
Oh, sure.
Mr. Gutierrez, you were charged with driving while intoxicated. You are facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On January 4th, 2025, at approximately 12:58 a.m., the officer observed the defendant's vehicle with no expired registration as of July 2024. A traffic stop was initiated and the officer made contact with the defendant and driver of the vehicle. The window was not completely rolled down and the officer observed slurred speech and further discovered the defendant had an open warrant and asked the defendant to step out of the vehicle. The officer observed an odor of alcoholic beverage and bloodshot eyes, and the officer did search of the defendant and found a marijuana blunt in the defendant's front pocket. The defendant stated he was coming from a bar and was driving home, and the defendant stated he had 1 cocktail drink and 2 shots. The defendant admitted to smoking the marijuana before going to the bar in the car, and the defendant stated he was 3 out of 10 drunk when asked to rate his intoxication. The defendant refused standard field sobriety test, and the DIC was read to the defendant, who refused to provide a breath sample. A blood search warrant was signed and executed.
Mr. Gutierrez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, I'm going to put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Sir.
He has a prior FSRA and he's on bond for that case. Has anything happened to that because of the
I
DWI?
just signed on to that case. He was just recently arrested for it. We're in the beginning stages of
Is it
this.
a 2B?
It was. We're in the beginning stages of discovery, Judge. I know almost nothing about that case yet.
Is there a dead body?
No, Your Honor, it was a minor injury.
Great.
Yes, Your Honor, this is a leg injury.
On the FSRA?
Oh, yes, sorry, yes.
Okay. All right. Does he have a Texas driver license?
It's eligible, Your Honor.
All right. You are not allowed to drive unless you also have liability insurance. If you don't have liability insurance with your Texas driver license, you're not allowed to drive. If I find that you're driving also without insurance, I'm going to revoke your bond. Do you understand? All right. Now, you got a great lawyer. It's your responsibility to listen to Mr. Coyne, and he'll tell you when you have to come back to court. If he tells you that you're playing games, you're not responding to phone calls or text messages, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. Don't pick up a third case. 3 strikes. You know what happens, right? All right. Come on.
Thank you, Judge.
He's going to have to get with Felicia for bond conditions. We'll have him sign a reset, and then you're good to go.
Thank you, Judge.
Right this way.
Yes, sir.
Had a wreck. Judge, I had surgery, so
Always a pleasure.
I wouldn't be disrespectful to the
I trust you. It doesn't matter. Mr. McAllister, are you Arturo Rodriguez?
Sir.
Mr. Rodriguez, you're charged with racing on the highway. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You worked out an agreement where they're offering you 6 days in jail with credit for the 2 days that you've done. You need to understand that this charge is going to go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. You also need to understand that the Texas legislature has made it extremely easy for district attorneys across the state of Texas to seize and take cars from individuals who participate in this type of action. You now have this one going on your record. You get caught up again, it's very well that they may seize and take the car away from you. I'm telling you this because I've seen it happen here. Someone had their Hellcat, which is probably like a $90,000 car, seized, gone. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
There are proper places in Houston, 610, 59, the Hardy Toll Road, that's not the right way. You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses, testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, it will go on your record. You can never take it off. Is this what you want to do? How do you plead to the offense? Guilty or not guilty? I'm going to find you guilty and I will send you the agreement. I'll roll his court costs and then good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, sir.
So we're not. Just let them know so I can put it in the queue. All right, come on up, sir. All right, Ms. Oko.
Yes, Judge, this is Mr. Joshua Frank.
So as you can see, your lawyer's here with you, but she's on Zoom, so you know that you're not alone. You are wanted out of the state of
Oklahoma.
Yeah, Oklahoma for conspiracy to commit a felony and conspiracy to commit consumer fraud. Your lawyer is asking me to set you a bond.
Sir.
My problem, and well, I guess one of the things that I take into consideration when I set a bond is number one, if we set you a bond, are you going to go back? Number two, are you a danger to our community? Because that's what really concerns me. I like my community safe. If I find that you're going to endanger it, then we only have one place for you. So I see that you have a pretty considerable, criminal history. What say you?
On further review, I'm unopposed to a $7,500 bond. Just looking at the reason for the revocation of previous cases and all the other history, and if it's within 2 weeks, it's a non-violent offense.
Ms. Oko? So he suggested a $7,500 bond.
Yes, Judge, I do believe that's a little high. The last time he's gotten into any type of criminal trouble, if I'm not mistaken, was 2009. Is that right?
Was it?
Counsel?
Oh, no, sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. So the last one was in 2016 for the credit card abuse, DWI third, DWI third again.
I thought you said that he had a burglary from.
No, that was the other one that
That was the wrong
I
one.
confused with another defendant. I was running multiple ones for.
So you've run a full NCIC?
Yeah, so the only other history than what you see here is one from MoCo, which was one of the jurisdictional enhancements for the DWI period.
What was it?
It was DWI. I mean, it was just
Another
the
DWI.
first, but it was prior to all the ones you see in there.
Got
And
it.
that was 2016, which is what, 8 years ago, and it looks like he's been on the clean and steady. This is something that my client has stated that he is more than able and willing to take care of. He was on the route to do that, whereas he was picked up at the airport.
So what do you think? Give me a number.
We would like 2,000, Judge.
How much?
2,000? I'm starting low.
So what I'll do is I'll set it at 5,000.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Has he already waived?
Yes.
Okay, here's the deal. I'll set your bond now, if you want me to, at $5,000. You are an inherent flight risk because you're a fugitive and you're wanted out of a different state. So the typical 10%, I don't think that's going to fly here.
Sure.
I could be wrong, but I don't know. I'm not a bonding company, but
Sure.
typically I would imagine that because of the nature of the type of cases that you have,
Sure.
they may want everything. And it's, I don't know if that's something that you can do. The reason I'm telling you this is because you have to withdraw your waiver to be able to post a bond. If you withdraw your waiver, you lose all the time that you've accrued since you've waived, because we give the demanding jurisdiction 14 days to come get you. If they don't come get you within the 14 days, then Harris County releases you. So what I can do is I can have you talk with your lawyer to see if that's something you can do. If you guys want to reach out to family, we can roll you to Monday to see if that's something that you want to do. But just understand that once you withdraw your waiver, you lose all that time. And looks like he has what, 2 days?
For when
Yes.
Yeah,
2 days.
got around 2 days credit now toward that 14.
Just out of curiosity, because I've already retained my lawyer up there, and I already found a bail bonds company that's willing to do it for 1,900.
This is different from that over there.
Sir.
Right? You have to bond out here, and then once you post bond here, then I require you within 14 days of your release to go either turn yourself in or post bond in that jurisdiction. So you'll have to post bond here. You will also have to either post bond or turn yourself in.
If I don't go back in the 14 days.
Correct.
Okay.
So I don't want you to make a decision now. What I can do is I can put you back and I can have you talk to Ms. Oko to figure out what you guys want to do.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate it.
We'll wait for you to hear back on the withdrawal, decides to do it.
What
And
phone number
real quick,
should she
Judge, real
call?
quick question.
Please look at me.
No.
I think Chisholm had a question.
Ms. Oko?
Judge, real quick question. If we get she has an attorney, they have an attorney out in Tulsa. If they can get the warrant recalled, then he wouldn't have to pay a bond here. Is that correct?
Correct, right.
I would dismiss the case if you get the
Of course.
warrant there.
Of
Right.
course.
If you can post bond in that jurisdiction, if the warrant gets recalled, if they release the hold, then he'll file a nollie on
Of course.
this.
I just wanted to make sure and okay. Thank you, Judge. That's it. May be excused.
Yeah, well, hold on. Do you want to call over there or what do you want, what do you want to do?
Oh, no, I mean, I'm gonna call over there right now. I'm here.
Thank you, Judge.
Thanks. And this phone's back there, right? Okay, I'm gonna chat you the phone number, Ms. Oko.
Yes, Judge. Thank you.
Really? This phone number? Is that right? Oh, no, no, no. It has you mean it got to be the court phone. Okay. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning. I'm here.
Well, how are you? Thanks for coming.
Good. Sorry, it's a long day in Brazoria.
Okay, so we got Mr. Cordova.
Cordova's here for a plea. This is Mr. Glover. I was just appointed. He's got a BVR. So I want to address those together. Also, I have Mr. Worthy in the jury box on an MHA.
Okay, let's do all those. So I guess let's do the plea first, Mr. Cordova. You were charged with assault, bodily injury. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. Sorry, let me just get this to Ms. Oko. You've worked out an agreement where they're offering you 58 days in jail with credit for the 58 days that you have done. You need to understand that this charge is going to go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life.
Yes.
You also need to understand that for purposes of misdemeanor cases from now on, anything you pick up, you're facing a minimum of 90 days in jail.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So you need to be very careful. I understand that you have a whole host of cases upstairs, but you ever pick up a misdemeanor, it's a minimum of 90 days. You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on behalf, confront, cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. Once you accept this, you can never change this or undo this. How do you plead to the offense, Mr. Cordova? Now, he has 2 assaults here, right? So one will be dismissed, I'm assuming? Your other case will be dismissed on motion of the state. Good luck to you, sir.
Mr. Glover here.
So how's he in custody? I'm sure he's on bond on both cases.
He is, Judge. There was an alleged bond violation. He's got a GPS monitor on, and he was out past curfew by, I think it's 3 different occasions. 1 or 2 of them are 2 or 3 minutes. One of them is like 38, 40 minutes.
But how's he in custody? I'm sure he's on bond on both cases.
He's picked up by parole.
Oh, he's got a parole hold.
He went to parole meeting and they informed him he had a BVR.
So you're being held because of the motion to revoke parole. Got it. What's he on parole?
What are you on parole for?
Okay. I guess we're kind of like, we're stuck, right? We're just kind of, we got to ride it out to see, because I don't know what's going to happen with your parole. We're basically stuck until you take care of these cases here. And then that could impact your parole there. You know, maybe they send you to ISF, maybe they reinstate, or maybe they revoke you. I don't know. So
I'll talk to parole for him. You have an assessment set up yet? You know, if they're gonna come talk to you, I'll get on that.
yeah, because, you know,
They say they're gonna come like, I don't know when, 2 weeks or something like that. I don't know.
That sounds about right.
3 weeks.
Okay, Josh. All right. All right. I'm in. Best of luck.
We're good. We're good.
We'll talk soon.
So if you want to reset Mr. Glover 3 weeks.
So what should we do what should we do with regards to BVR?
Yes.
Just nothing.
Just leave it.
You just leave it, continue supervision, just because, yeah, he's in there, he's got a parole hold, so he just can't get out.
Okay, so should I keep it there just so we can address it later?
No, just continue supervision.
So this is Mr.
Yeah.
Worthy.
Mr. Worthy,
Yes, Your Honor.
you were placed on probation. You're on probation for unlawful carrying of a weapon. Now you've picked up a new case. So we are now filing a motion to revoke your probation and a warrant's going to issue. We will take you into custody now.
We would ask if we could set this for a hearing on the MAJ before we're taking in custody.
Yeah, I mean, he picked up a new case. He's on probation. What we do is whenever you pick up a new case, motion to revoke gets filed. That's the normal course of business. You're supposed to not pick up a new case, right? Okay, goes to the. Did I sign it? I need to sign. Yeah. Have I signed it? Okay, right now.
What's the new bond amount?
We'll talk about the new bond amount?
Yes, Judge. But I need to talk to him about what he's doing and living with and working and all that good stuff so we can have a better conversation.
Okay, so I'll set it at 5. What's it at now? Let's see, 248, 768. Okay, 5,001. Yeah. Okay, so just let me know. Whatever you want, if you want to set it a couple days, maybe to Monday, Tuesday.
Okay.
If he's unable to, we can talk early next week.
Okay, Judge. I'll get talk with him. And then I also was appointed Miss, how do you pronounce it?
Bourgeois.
Yes, I think she should have bond conditions for you to sign, state filed with.
Okay. The only condition is not going, is it Target?
So the McDonald's, I believe.
Oh, the McDonald's. That's it. Just don't go to this McDonald's where this. Okay, I got it. Right. If you want to come up, Ms. Bourgeois, we'll have you sign it and then we'll get you out of here.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, guys, thanks. I'm not happy with you. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And I don't want to file a motion to revoke, but I don't want you to say anything, but they've informed us that you're testing positive. You're not doing your classes on time. You haven't started on your community service, right?
I have the community service schedule. I have it in my email if you want me to send it to you. And with regards to one of the classes, they got pushed back after the Christmas time. And then I took another class. I think it was the EDM class. I finished that class. And now I have the other class scheduled as well.
Is it actually scheduled?
Yes, sir, it's scheduled.
Is this the one where he scheduled it 3 times and failed to appear?
No.
Okay.
It was for Brown. He completed his effective decision making in regards to his probation.
I have 3 classes in total. I don't remember.
And this is the one that I mentioned his officer is wanting to use the effective decision making instead of the thinking for change.
I would rather do the thinking for change instead of the community service. I think the community service, I'd rather you take a class and learn something than just doing menial work for no.
So she informed me that they have our class I can take instead. And I told her that I could do
Once
that.
you get done with this class, you're done with us. So the quicker you do it, the quicker you're done. And now I'm going to test you again in 45 days.
Yeah.
You test positive, it's really not going to go well for you.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand?
Yes,
You
sir.
get my drift. Don't use.
Yes, sir.
Don't care what's going on in your life. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it gets tested 45 days. And then, how much time does he have left? Before he
One is
expires?
2 years and one is 6 months.
Terminated April 20.
Okay, so he's got to have the class done, at least signed up within the next 30 days. Okay, all right. Take a seat for me.